All right. Happy New Year to everyone. This is the Get Busy Living podcast with the wonderful Diane Rossow this morning. And thank you very much, Diane, for joining us today on the Get Busy Living podcast. And we appreciate your time. We're hoping to hear I know I'm going to hear some gold nuggets of information from you today. So appreciate that.
Thank you, Scott. And I'm honored to be here. I really am. Thank you.
So we'll kick off the year 2026 with the usual question. So tell us, Diane, what gets you out of bed every morning?
Well, I'll tell you, spreading the truth about pills, poisons, and parasites. That's what wakes me up and gets me going every day, Scott.
Absolutely.
I mean, most people don't even think about those things, I got to tell you, but I wake up going, who's going to listen to me about parasites today?
I could go on all day about parasites.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a pandemic?
Yes.
That's the pandemic.
Scott, people worry about worms eating them when they're dead and 6 feet under. They need to be concerned about it while they're standing vertical. They're going about their daily business. They need to understand and know this stuff.
So that's probably the weirdest answer I've gotten for what gets you out of bed every morning. But it's quite true. It's very true. It is very true. So I see on your LinkedIn that you're a author and health detox strategist.
Yes.
Now, how did you get into that? How did you get into that? The detoxing strategy?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you, Scott. I didn't wake up one morning ever as a child wanting to be a nurse, doctor, researcher, or scientist. And I'm a little bit of all of those things. For the first reason, my mother passed, my dad needed me to come and help. I started digging into his medications. And it kind of threw me how many there were. And, when I looked at some of the things that they were combining with each other, I was like, well, no wonder he's going to die in 3 to 6 months. And so when I got really into it, and started requesting some changes, then my dad lived another 3 years. So I'm not saying I'm totally responsible for that, but I am saying that those other meds were not helping him, and he was going down fast. So, but after he passed away, I had been having trouble getting a hold of my daughter, who had had multiple hip surgeries and wasn't doing well. Hadn't been able to work for 6 years.
Now, hang on. How old is she? At the time, sorry.
Yeah, 42. She was 42 years old.
Wow.
And hadn't been able to work for 6 years. Was on 26 meds a day. 16 of them were opioids. 80 milligrams a day she was authorized. You know what that means. It should have killed her. Should have killed her. And I couldn't get a hold of her. I was going nuts, scrambling, mom. I'm mom. All moms would scramble when they can't reach their kid. She finally reached out and said, Mom, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't fight anymore. I'm in so much pain. I just can't do this anymore. And my heart just fell to the floor. And I said, the stupidest thing in the world, give me 24 hours. Just give me 24 hours. Don't do anything. Give me 24 hours. She said, okay, Mom. So she hung up the phone, and I'm like, what am I going to do in 24 hours? What am I going to figure out? I hit the knee. My knees hit the floor so fast, Scott. I took it to the guy upstairs. I started praying, and I said, I need some help here. And that afternoon, I got a phone call from a woman about a cellular health product that's responsible for increasing cell signaling in our body. Sounded Greek to me. And she went on about how it could help my arthritis and it could help my fake hips and I would feel better and less brain fog and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah. My dad always taught me that if it sounded too good to be true, it probably was.
Yeah.
So I passed. She was lovely, but I said, thank you for thinking of me. Not sure how or why you did, but thank you. And I'm going to pass. She said, okay. Hung up. I wake up the next morning, hadn't really slept because I was no further ahead in my thinking. I had only 24 hours, 12 of them were gone. So I hit the floor again and I was quite irreverent. I'm a little embarrassed to say I was yelling, screaming, and using words that I don't think he would appreciate too much. But I heard as clearly as you and I are talking, I told you yesterday. So I just swallowed hard, jumped on the phone, called that little gal back and said, I need to try this stuff. And I said, I want you to know, though, I'm probably going to prove you wrong. Do you think I had a little bit of arrogance in that statement? I knew nothing about this product. I knew nothing, but it was salt water. Well, salt water. Think about it, Scott. Who wouldn't have questions about salt water? And so I started taking it, looking at the science, understanding what it was, bioidentical to the way our body makes cell signaling molecules. And all of a sudden, my little fingers I was able to open bottles of water again. And I hadn't been able to do that for quite some time. And so,
Wow.
that was just that quick. I had a really quick response. I was sleeping harder. I had more energy just in a few days. And I had called my daughter that day that I ordered product and said, okay, I've got something coming. I'm going to try it. Give me a few more days, having no idea if I'd have a result or not, but give me a few more days and let me see how this works. And if it's working for me, we'll get you on it immediately. Will you do this journey with me? And she said, I will. I have nothing to lose. And I said, okay. So,
Absolutely.
I got the product 3 days later. I called her. I said, I can open a bottle of water again. She goes, really? And I said, yeah. 5 days later than that, I was walking without pain in my hips, just a short ways, but I was walking. And she got on it right then. Fast forward now several months, Scott, and she was off of all of her opioids. All the inflammation was coming out of her body, so she wasn't in nearly as much pain, which gave her the ability to move a little bit more and, go for walks herself. So she was able to not only get off of the pain medication, but get out and get the fresh air and the sunshine that we need to have an attitude of, hope. So all of this was just amazing. And it kept going week after week, month after month, better and better and better. More good news, more good news, more good news. About 18 months in, she's still on about maybe 8 meds. And I started asking the question, well, if this product that increases cell signaling in our body can decrease all this inflammation, what causes inflammation in the first place? And the answer to that at 3:00 in the morning was pills, poisons, and parasites. And I'm like, what in the world does that mean? What does that mean? So I jumped on the computer, Scott, and started looking. And this is stuff you already knew. If I'd have known you back then, I could have just called you and said, help me. What does this mean? Right? But I have to do everything the hard way. So I started digging, started realizing, not only the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, it's all got toxicity in it that we're getting in the form of heavy metals, chemicals, pesticides. We're eating eggs and larvae of bugs, don't even realize it. I was a huge sushi eater. I had weak lungs my whole life, and I just made it worse by doing that. I I said, I think I'm being led down this path of detoxing our bodies from pills, poisons, and parasites. Are you in? I'm in, she said. We started systematically taking every single one of the pills that she was still on, looking at the ingredients. You could probably tell me what the top 4 ingredients are in any medication. Shall we compare notes on that?
Oh, so normally your fillers, so that's usually baking soda.
Yeah.
Um,
The poisonous ones I'm looking for.
Poisonous one, aluminium.
Yeah. How about petroleum? How about oil?
Oh yeah, petroleum. Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
And how about
especially in the gluten, especially in the gelatins and glutens.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
How about soap?
Yep, absolutely. It's supposed to be made from fat, but they don't. They use petroleum.
Right. How about a thickening agent that's an alternative to asbestos? And another thickening agent that's used in paint. And I'm like looking at these, and it was in almost every one of her meds. Yep. And I'm like, you wouldn't give this to your dog. And we started figuring out
I'm sorry to say, some people are giving that to their dogs.
Fact. So Scott, we had to make some decisions. Do we get, the doctors involved in getting her off of these meds, or do we do it cold turkey, or, what's at risk here? So there was a lot of research around that, because I don't take lightly that I'm not a trained physician. I'm not even a trained RN, LPN. I barely know how to work a blood pressure sleeve, right? So I got good at it with her, but
it takes time.
It takes time.
Get used to it.
And as she was coming off of all those meds, the benefits were just going up. Her brain fog was just like getting so much better. She could put 3 sentences together. Hadn't been able to do that for a long time. So now she's about 44, and she's seeing that life isn't so horrible, And
this to walk again and get around and do things that she wants to do.
Yes. And so in this detoxing of heavy metals, chemicals, parasites, we went down the path. My rule for myself was I try it first. It has to be called non-toxic, cellular based. And in doing that, I was so blessed to find these products that kill all living pathogens, that capture heavy metals and chemicals, and one that increases the cell signaling. So with those in mind, now, mind you, there are some parasites that aren't, those things are nasty.
Yeah, there's the microscopic ones. They're the real nasty ones.
She had a lot of intracellular parasites in the brain, which now I understand was the reason for migraines. And it's the reason for addictive behavior.
Yep.
It's also
causes depression and causes so many problems. Those micro. Don't get me started.
I love it if you would start. Because it will.
Well, in ancient times, we know that parasites was a big problem. How do we know? Because when they opened up the mummies, the queen and king, and they did their autopsies on the corpses, because they mummified them. In China, they knew how to mummify a body, not only Egypt. So China knew how to do it too. Yeah. And I'm talking 3,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. So when they opened up the mummies, when they figured it, they found that they were full of parasites. Not only the visual parasites like your ringworm and tapeworm, roundworm, whatever you want. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
But they were also full of the micro parasites.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so they had herbs back in those days to kill these parasites. Mm-hmm. They did have herbs. But what we found was that herbs will kill the adults. It will kill the adults, and it will dissipate the symptoms for around about 6 to 12 months. Around about,
Yeah.
because what'll happen is the babies don't get killed. See,
Right.
and then the problem is with that, then they proliferate after 6 to 12 months, and then and
And
these
plus,
nasty little buggers can get in anywhere, and
yeah.
like you just said, they can get into the brain as well. They can get past the blood-brain barrier.
Yes. And the biggest carrier of those intracellular parasites of the brain is the cats giving Toxoplasma gondii. And people love their cats. And I got to tell you, they deworm their cats, but they don't deworm themselves from the cat.
And so, yeah, dogs do too. They get it as well. Giardia, Endomoeba,
Yeah.
Histolinda, Diane, Endomoeba. All those nasty little, they're all cousins of each other. And yes, you're right. All pets have got it. And
Yeah.
if you ask your vet, you just ask your vet, they'll say, yeah, every animal's got it. And that's why you need to filter your water as best you can.
And what's fascinating, Scott, when I was really digging hard into this, and of course still do every day, but when the adult parasites are eradicated, they every day release an enzyme to the babies, and that keeps those babies satisfied with food, etc. Well, the minute they die, those babies, like you said, they break out of that slime that they're in, and you have a whole new infestation. So it's really important to be on a protocol that is, a correct one for you. And oftentimes, what is correct? I mean, oftentimes you have to trial and error based on, what worm is still sticking around. I mean, I had a lady that was on one of different cleanses for 2 years and had one tickle left in her back, one little tickle left in her back, and we were able to get that with fenbendazole. But you just don't know exactly. I mean, it's not like we can put a microscope down inside and see which ones they are, and which can, and then line them up against the deworming medications and see which one's going to be the best choice. So that's why I call it a symptomatic decision as to where we go next, if that's fair.
Absolutely.
But that was just a fascinating part of the journey, and I'm going to jump to the end for a minute and just tell all your viewers that my daughter is gainfully employed on 0 medications, has her brain back, is doing marvelous, and it was all because we stuck with this. And because these parasites are so nasty, they actually coat themselves with the heavy metals. That heavy metal stuff and the chemicals is what they hide behind, coat themselves with. The biofilm that they leave their eggs in is as difficult, I've decided, maybe even more so difficult to get rid of than the parasites themselves. Nasty stuff, that biofilm. So it's really a commitment, and it's not for the faint of heart, especially if you've never done it. And I'm 70 now, and my first cleanse ever was at 65. So I mean, it's going to take you, it's going to take you to the mat, depending on what your lifestyle was. But wow, is it worth it? Wow, is it worth it, Scott? It's just amazing. And Brandy would tell you the same thing.
But well, yeah, exactly right. And it just it blows my mind that a 40 was she 40 or 42?
She was 42.
42, having multiple surgeries on her hip.
Mm-hmm.
That's not like if she was 65, 70, maybe 80 years of age. I'm not really 65. It should be about 70 onwards.
Yeah.
Upwards, I should say. That's when you should think about getting surgery, because but there's ways around rebuilding the hip cartilage anyway.
Right.
It can be done.
Right. She was so young when that started, and the best advice, the best conclusion I could come up with no admission, of course, by the surgeon or by the hospital or anyone else, is the first surgeon slipped, cut something in there that shouldn't have been cut.
Yeah.
And then it was a total cluster trying to find someone to reconstruct it. And all of this started when she was 37 years old. So by the time she was 42, it was just awful. Just awful.
She's
Awful.
like an 80-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
She's like an 80-year-old. That's what happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way the system's set up. The system is set up so that we're all pretty much 80 years of age. Doesn't matter what age you are, and that you need to take a culmination of medications.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you see, the problem I have with research is that and drugs,
Mm-hmm.
medication, is that they have tons of research to prove that the drug, well, not tons, but most of the, not even most actually, it's about 17%. 17% of all drugs that are administered, they know exactly how it works, its mechanism of action.
Mm-hmm.
They know how effective it is.
Mm-hmm.
They know, and they know how safe it is.
Mm-hmm.
So 17%. So what about the
And
other 83%?
they give it to you anyway.
Yeah. So that so out of that 17%, they have tons of research that drug works for whatever the condition it's created for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they got tons, but when they add something to it, they got zero information on how that drug's going to interact with the other drug. They can only theorize.
Yeah.
And they call me the quack.
Yeah, right. So I've been called a lot of things. A quack is one of the nicer ones. Let's talk a little bit, Scott, if you will, about the meds themselves. That was a fascinating journey and still is when I look up people's medication, because most people that are on antidepressants start out with this with me every time, every single one so far, 100% of the people that have been on antidepressants that I've said to them, we need to look at these. They go, oh no, don't touch my antidepressants. No, it's the only reason I can function. And when I get down into it, one lady was...
So what I say to them is, oh, you can function. So what you're saying to me is you still feel like crap, just that now you don't care anymore.
Now you don't care. Yeah, because you're...
So because that's what the drug does. It makes you not care.
Yeah. So my daughter calls me one day and says, Mom, what bug is round, hard, and white? I said, well, I don't know that one. So you're going to have to take me a picture. Get yourself a Dairy Queen spoon with the long handle and fish it out and, take a picture and send it to me. And she did. And and I said, compare this to your meds that you're still on. She said, Mom, it's my antidepressant. I said, okay, now take a fresh one and put it in a little tube of water and call me when it starts to dissolve. 4 days later, she called me and it hadn't dissolved 1 minute. Now that's a true test that everyone can do. Take your antidepressant, put it in a bowl of water, just cover it slightly, but make sure it's covered and see if it dissolves. If it doesn't dissolve in water, how is it going to help you a bit? And I had a lady, I love her dearly. She was on 3 of them, 3 different ones. I did the research. I showed her that each one of them should never be taken with the other one. And she could not figure out why she couldn't get out of bed. She was crying all the time. She was just a mess, in pain, swelling, because they were contraindicators to each other, all 3 of them. So she did the water test on all 3 of them and ended up taking, didn't do it cold turkey like my daughter did, but she did end up getting off of them. It's beyond belief. Okay, let's take Adderall. How about Adderall? That is for ADHD, right?
It's an amphetamine.
So, yeah. So when you dig into that, when you dig into that, it's got 3 methamphetamines in it. 3 street drugs. Street drugs they can buy in the the doctor says to me, Diane, for God's sakes, we give this to 7-year-olds. And I'm like, and they're addicts by the time they're 16, not finishing high school. Shame on you. You know? Gabapentin, that's another one with all of this petroleum in it and all this other, nerve pain medication. Gabapentin. The migraine medication, same thing. I mean, it was unbelievable. And now people are looking to me to really help them understand. They want to believe, but I'll tell you, it's easier when the doctor will tell them that I'm right, but rarely will they do that. So one last story.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I saw a patient first time, and I said, "Could you show me?" I did the pulse with her. I told her, what was wrong, and she's taking 5 different medications, and she didn't know what she didn't exactly. She knew some. She sort of knew some things, but she didn't know exactly what she was taking. So she had heartburn because she's got a hiatus hernia, and of course, she's been told that she can only have surgery to reverse it. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. Okay. But anyway, she's taken Nexium. So Nexium is now, we know for the last, the good 9 years, that Nexium is linked to heart disease. Causes it. So, and anyway, she didn't know. She knew it was for gut issues, but she didn't know what for. I said, this is an acid. It's they call it a protein pump inhibitor. And Nexium that's what it's for. It's to inhibit the hydrochloride levels in your stomach. So basically, it reduces the acid buildup, but it doesn't solve the cause why you've got so much acid in your stomach. Then we moved on to, and she didn't even know she was taking an antidepressant. So anything ending in, I'll just give the audience a tip. So anything ending in pram, that's an antidepressant. That's either a serotonin, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, or a selective serotonin and noradrenaline reuptake inhibitor. So anything ending in pram is an antidepressant, right? She didn't know she was taking that. But when I said it, I said, this is an antidepressant. She couldn't remember what it was for. But then when I said that, she said, oh, yeah. That's for an antidepressant. And then, of course, she's taking insulin because she's a type 2 diabetic. And she had that in the fridge. But so I said, what are you taking for it? Because I said, you've got type 2 diabetes. What are you taking for that? And she forgot that she left it in the fridge. And then something that she admitted as well is that she was taking a iron supplement. And I said, well, you're telling me basically that you're insulin deficient, you're iron deficient, you got excessive amounts of acid in your stomach. And there was one other thing she was taking. Oh, that's right. She's got atherosclerosis. So she's taking a blood thinner, and the best drug of all, statins.
I was just going to ask us to talk about statins. Oh.
Yeah. So she's only on 6 now, but that's what I said to her. She gets low blood pressure. Her blood pressure was in range, but that's because the muscles of the heart are weak, and the pulse tells me that, right? Anyway, and that's why she cut. She's going to get eventually. She's going to get the issues in the hands and feet, because the furthest point for the heart is your hands and feet, right?
Yep.
So the circulation, the heart can't pump the blood to the circulation, and then she's going to get dizzy eventually. She's going to get dizzy, but she's got sleep apnea as well. I forgot to mention that. So she's forcing oxygen into her brain and also into her lungs because the sinuses are blocked completely. She's hard of hearing in one ear. Anyway, Anyway, so yeah, so we got to then we got to she's on a anticoagulant, which is
Yeah.
like aspirin, the
Hmm.
cardia it's called, and she was taking oh it's also an angina, so it's chest pain
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm.
Uh, that's what it does. So when we got to brass tacks, as they say, she didn't really know what she was taking,
Right. That's the scary part.
and
That's
and we're just talking about what drug goes to what.
yeah.
And now we're going into another level in that we know what's in the drug to do what it's supposed to the body.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if they don't know what the drug is for, then how are they going to know what the drug does to their body?
Right. 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 And let's talk about statins a little bit because you went 3,000 years ago, which I so appreciate. Well, a lot less years ago than that, maybe 70 or 80 years ago, an acceptable blood pressure was 300. It was high if it was at 350. Is that fair?
Yeah,
And
I
now,
mean you're talking pre-war. You're talking
yeah,
pre-Second World War.
okay. So now, if they've lowered that range so much, it's down to if you're at 150, they want to
Mhm.
put you on a statin. And we need that what is it? It's the right
Cholesterol.
kind of
Cholesterol.
fat because
Yeah,
the
the high
brain
density,
needs
high
it.
density lipids,
Yeah, the brain needs so
high
much
density
of
lipids.
that healthy fat that we need that fat in our body, and they're advising us not to eat those good fats, stay away from those, and stay away from salts. Table salts, yes. Celtic salts, sea salts, you need those. The body uses water and salt to do everything.
Absolutely.
And so it's just a mind blower to me. I mean, they call us conspiracy theorists. They're just into, I shouldn't say it on your live show, but they're into genocide. I shouldn't say it. But let me tell you a statin story.
Jawohl, jawohl.
Yes. So this gentleman got started on this cellular based product that increases the cell signaling, and he was doing pretty good. And he had a lot going on. So I knew it was going to take some time. He was on statins. He'd been on them for 20 years. Now keep in mind, Scott, you know what this product is and how it is exactly the same as the way the body makes these cell signalings. So he called and said, "Your product is making the muscle fall off of my bone." I said, "Excuse me?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Ever since I started taking your product, my muscles are falling off of my bone." And I said, "That's impossible, my friend. But at your rate right now of speech and anxiety, I'm not going to convince you otherwise." Fast forward 4 months, he called me. He had been to a neurologist. He told the neurologist what was going on with him, and the neurologist said, "Statins will do that to you." Wow. Wow. I give this man so much credit. He called me back, admitted what had happened, got back on the product, and he's just going great guns now. And he's cut all the other products out because he was able to believe me now. You see, it's not that
Yeah,
I haven't given him the information, I just didn't have the neurologist, you know,
yeah,
alphabet after my name. And and I get it. I get that
yes.
I understand that we have been so programmed to believe the man in the white coat. But once in a while, you get lucky and find an honest one, like
Was that
you.
the white coat? You mean the mortician?
Fair enough. The morticians will talk to you about parasites because they know.
Absolutely.
They know.
absolutely. Because they see them.
1896, Scott, the Merck Medical Manual, 1896, was the last reference to parasites being the biggest threat to mankind. That was the last one.
There's a Professor Cahill. He's passed away now. He passed away in 22. But he was the leading parasitologist in the world. He wrote the parasitology programs for the Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
So he was a commissioned officer. He was Ronald Reagan's personal physician. So he's got a few credentials. He died at the age of 93, I think, something like that. So, he was no spring chicken. But yeah, he goes into detail. He wrote over 50 articles just on parasites, and he was of the opinion that same thing. He said the pandemic is really what's growing inside of us. And it causes all the other problems. So just on statins, so this is a statistical website for medications and surgeries. So it's called www.thennt.com.
The NNT.
Yeah, I've got it there right on the screen.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So so statins is a classic. Statins is I'll just go to. I'll just try and bring up some stats. Okay. I'll see if I can share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, you can see that?
Yes. It's small. It's pretty small. Can you?
Yeah, I can try.
Oh, other side. There we go.
All right. So this is statins at low risk of cardiovascular disease. Okay, so this is you haven't had the heart attack yet, basically. That's what they're saying. So 1 in 217 avoided a non-fatal heart attack.
Oh.
So out of 217 people who took the statins, one didn't have a heart attack.
Wow. That's really not much to brag about.
That's less than 0.02.
Wow. Wow.
1 in 313 avoided a non-fatal stroke.
So that means 312 probably died.
Yeah, had a stroke.
Wow. And they published this
non-fatal.
Is in the government
non-fatal. Site. It says non-fatal.
Okay.
And the most important part is at the top there. No statistical significant mortality benefit. It won't extend your life by 1 day.
Wow. I can't believe that. Thank you for that site.
So what I tell patients is if it didn't have harms, I'd say, take the drug. At least you got a slim chance, very, very slim chance of stopping a heart attack or stroke. But the problem is that it has harms. And you'll see there 1 in 21. 1 in 21 experience pain and muscle damage.
Wow.
So when they say pain, they mean joint pain as well.
Yeah.
So if you're getting joint pain and you're getting muscle pain and muscle wasting, muscle damage, pretty good chances the statins are causing it. That's if you're taking it. Now, the other one that blows my mind is 1 in 204 develop diabetes. So you got a better chance of getting diabetes and muscle pain and damage than you do of actually stopping a heart attack or a stroke.
That's just shocking, isn't it? It's just shocking. And of course, it's not anything that we're included in those kinds of things when we're getting prescribed the drugs. Not at all.
Just is that better? Can you see that now? See the
Yes.
harms?
Yeah. Now I see it. Yes.
1 in 21.
Wow.
1 in 204.
Yeah.
Now that's it goes into other things that you can go. So this is without prior heart attack. Numbers get a bit better. The numbers do get a bit better.
Okay.
So that you can see there, none were helped to save life.
1 in 104. Wow.
1 in 104 prevented a heart attack, so it's less than 1%. And 1 in 154 prevented a stroke, so it's less than 1%. And as I said, the harms is the problem.
Right.
So this is when they've taken it for 5 years. I should say that. So this is when they've taken it for 5 years.
Okay. Okay.
Without knowing heart disease. So, like I said, heart disease is only diagnosed when you have a heart attack. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So you've taken the drug for 5 years. This is what happens. You get harms.
You get harms.
1 in 50 develop diabetes.
Whenever you get a medication, you have a symptom, you get a medication. I've yet to see that medication not cause another symptom.
Yep.
Which results in a second medication. And then a
long
third.
term, absolutely. Long term, it always happens. Yep.
So
and there you go. 1 in 10 were harmed with muscle damage.
So here's the truth, Scott, is if I get hit by a car and my femur bone's sticking out my leg, give me the best surgeon and an opioid, please, like right away. And there is a reason to have these medical interventions like that. That's huge. But the number 3 cause of death in America, I'm not sure about Australia, but in America, is misdiagnosis. Huh?
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
Okay.
It's number 5 here. Number 5.
Number 5 in Australia, misdiagnosis and malpractice. That would be the slip of the scalpel in my daughter's surgery. That would be all these people that are on medications that are getting sicker and sicker and sicker. So I encourage the audience to really, if you don't want to do it yourself, have someone look at what you're taking for you. It's important.
If you take, so this is, I don't know about the States, but in Australia, they changed the laws in 2016. So what actually is supposed to happen if you're taking an opioid every day, like Panadine Ford or Tramadol or oxycodone, Subutex with morphine, fentanyl, you're supposed to get another doctor to review your medication. Your doctor is supposed to refer you to another doctor to review those medications.
Well, I guess that's a start.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, I've not heard of that ever happening with anyone I'm working with, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. But so I know, one of the things that one of the questions that you had for me earlier was, who would be my ideal person to work with? And all of this brings us to the place where hopefully people understand that big pharma is not their friend. It's their short-term intervention, but it's not their long-term friend. And that the medical complex has failed them in some way. And they understand that their health is their responsibility. So people that understand that and they are committed to taking their health back, that's a dream for me to work with people like that. There's no judgment. We've all been in the abyss where we've been, not lacked knowledge of what we were doing to our own bodies, what we were allowing to be done to our own bodies. We've all been in that abyss. No judgment in helping you come out of it, but own it and let us help you come out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was something else I wanted to bring up as well. So yeah, tell us a bit more about what how you've helped people with the products that you've helped your daughter. You told us about that. Is there someone else that you've helped with as well?
Well, about 150 at this point, and thank you. And it really is about understanding the whole person first, understanding age, labels, diagnoses, whatever you call those things, because people believe they have certain things when, like fibromyalgia, when they may not have that at all. It's just that they have a lot of aches and pains, and that falls under that category of fibromyalgia. Lyme disease, they're going to have to live with it the rest of their life. No.
No,
And this
absolutely.
messes with their head. It messes
Yep.
with your head. It messes with your heart, your spirit, messes with everything. So the first thing I do is look at the whole person. What are our habits? What are our daily habits? Are we a clean eater? And what that means is whole foods that, you either eat them raw, you can peel them, they're not preserved on a shelf in a bag or a box. That is not a clean diet. There's so much garbage in the bags and the boxes. It's unbelievable. Why do you think they can survive so long on a shelf? It's because of all the junk they put in it to preserve it. So I look at that. Are they drinking? I love a glass of red wine, but not 7 a day. How many cups of coffee are we
Every
drinking?
day.
Right,
Every
every
day.
day, right? And are we smoking? Because smoking it's not the tobacco. People don't know this, but it's
No,
not the tobacco that's addictive. It's
no,
the
it's not.
lace. Go get some
It's not.
organic tobacco and chew it.
What's it called? Yeah, it's not the nicotine that's addictive.
No, it's not the nicotine.
Which is
It's
it's
the
gonna
chemicals
it's gonna
they lace,
screw all those companies that have been trying to sell us
right?
nicotine
Well, before I think
adjuncts.
it was in the 40s, they didn't lace their tobacco leaves.
No,
They didn't.
73 they started.
In 73, they
73.
started lacing them.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so
With
they could
it's a
sell more
chemical.
cigarettes. Hmm.
I went to the chemist in Marlborough. Went to the chemist in 70. Dr. Artis talks about this
Yes,
openly
yes.
in an interview. I can't remember the name of the drug. There is a drug that they put in it, a chemical, and it's
Hmm.
very highly addictive, and that's
Yeah,
why.
that's why. So we talk about that. And then once I understand the landscape of how the nutrition, the hydration, the rest, the stress, the movement and activity, and then you understand, are you a veterinarian? Do you have house animals? Do you live on a farm? Are you have a business where you spray weeds? Style. And then when you understand all of that against the meds they're taking and what their goals are, you just start setting small goals. You can't do it all at once. It took you how many years to get to this shape? But you don't have to buy the story that you have to deal with this because you're over 60, or you have to deal with this because you have this disease. None of that makes any sense in our world, Scott. None of it makes any sense because we've seen too much. So don't buy their story. Let's create a new story for you, a vibrant, healthy story where you can live the rest of your life enjoying. How about that?
So the indigenous people here in Australia,
Yes.
the originals, I call them.
Mhm.
They they talk about the Kandaichi man. So he's a witch doctor, and or Featherfoot. They call him Featherfoot. Anyway, if Featherfoot points the bone at you, that means that you're going to die, right? So they give up mentally. They just give up in their culture. That's what they do. They give up. Now I see this all the time in our culture.
Mm.
Just instead of wearing feathers, they wear white coats.
They wear white coats. That's right.
And once they point the bone in you, then that's it. What do I mean by that? Oh, you've got the C word.
Yeah.
You've got the C. You've got fibro.
Yeah.
You got to live with that for the rest of your life. The point of the bone at you.
Yeah.
And people just believe it.
They do. They buy it because the white coat said, and it's just not true. So I repeat, you don't have to buy their story. Let's create your story. And that can be something totally different. We can leave behind all that got you to the mess that you're in today. And I say that respectfully and with love, because many people that are chronically ill, in pain, have no hope. It's not the end of your story. It's not.
Absolutely.
Get the pills, poisons, and parasites out of your system, and you will increase the cell signaling and have a vibrant and healthy life. I'm 70 years old, Scott. I painted my entire house 2 years ago, single-handedly, the outside of it. The outside, not the inside.
Yep.
Yeah. Over 60.
And that's the way it should be. And that's the way it should be, Diane.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. You should be doing that into your 90s.
Yeah.
That's what should be happening.
Mm-hmm. And
that's why I say to people, 9 out of 10 don't die in their sleep.
Yeah. That's right.
In Australia, it's 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 don't
die in their sleep.
Don't.
That's
don't.
crazy.
So 1 in 10 does.
Wow.
And you should be like fully vibrant right up to the day that you die.
Yeah.
I talk about the story of my grandmother. She's the only one out of my 4 preceding siblings that died in their sleep. The other 3 either died in emergency or at ICU or palliative care. So see what I mean? You end up in 3 places: palliative care, ICU, or emergency. But she's the only one who died at home. So she's 91. She had a heart attack. They took her to the hospital, and she came out of she woke up, came out, because they drugged her to the eyeballs. She came out of the drug inducement, and then they said, "Oh, you need to take these drugs." She said, "Nah, I'm not doing that." So she went home, and she runs a thrift shop. So it's she was volunteered for the last 20 odd years of her life. She volunteered in the thrift shop, so she managed it and ran it. So she went straight to the thrift shop the next day. And then about a week later, she died in her sleep. That's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
Not this, I slowly died over the last 5 years, taking a culmination of medication, having my cocktails every day. That's what it is. It's a cocktail every day. And you're not, and you will be drunk. You will be drunk. I see it. You will be drunk. You won't be able. You won't know whether you're mother or other. And that's what I see over and over. I see it over and over. So it's. So I don't really have to ask you the 4th question.
No, I think we've talked about that. You've really got to. You've got to eat healthy. You've got to hydrate. You've got to move. Get out in the sun. You've got to move. You got to worry about the stress level. Get it down. Do what you enjoy and get the stress level down, and rest. You've got to rest. I'm so much more protective over my 8 hours of sleep than I've ever been in my life now. That's when
I agree.
That's when
that's when you repair.
Yeah.
That's when everything repairs, when you're asleep. Yeah. People don't realize that you actually go through your muscle cramps all night.
Yeah.
The muscles contract all night. What are they trying to do? The muscles are trying to get rid of all the toxins out of your bloodstream. And out of the muscles themselves, out of the protein muscles. Yeah. It's trying to get all that garbage out of the cells and send it where? Kidneys and liver.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to drink water first thing in the morning to flush your kidneys out.
Amen. Amen. Scott, I have so enjoyed this. I really
Yes.
appreciate your
I just
time.
realized the time. I
Yes.
just realized the time.
I could talk to you for another hour. I do have to
I do
jump
too.
to
I would too.
another appointment. So thank you
I
so
do too.
much for inviting me. And I look forward to seeing you in the near future. If there's anyone in your audience that's resonating with pills, poisons, and parasites and wants to talk more, Scott has the information on the screen to reach me, I believe. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
It's there. You got your book on the
DianeRossow.me.
website.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there it is. .me.
Mm-hmm.
You got your website there. You've also got your website there, and you also got your LinkedIn profile, which is on the bottom.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Diane, for coming on. We appreciate your time, and I got some gold nuggets from you today. Now, because you didn't bag me too much, I'm going to give you access to my health club. So it's worth $11. I teach you about EFT, emotional freedom technique, teach you about meditation, nutrition, exercise, the 8 leading chronic diseases in Australia, and I teach you about roadblocks in your mind, Chinese medicine, and acupuncture. So Chinese herbal medicine and acupuncture.
Wow.
So there's 9 modules. There's over 60 lessons, and I use disc profiling too, so you can find out who you are.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right.
So
have an awesome day. I'm into my evening now, and you're getting started on your day.
Thank you very much, Diane. Much appreciated for your time.
My friend. Okay. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.